Hello, welcome back to my kitchen, hello to my channel for the first time, or hello again, one of the ones. Basically today what we're going to do is we are going to make a mince and tatty pie, and we're going to make it as quickly and easily as possible. The reason for that is we're joined by Sadie, who is like a bum and can only amuse herself for so long before she cries. So we're on a tight schedule of having to look after Sadie as well as make a dinner. So for those who aren't from Britain or Scotland or whatever and don't really know, mince and tatties is basically a staple, especially in Scotland. It's literally just minced beef with gravy, some vegetables in it if you partake in vegetables, and then potatoes, whether they be boiled, mashed, whatever. That tends to be the dinner of choice. You will hear noises coming from this area a lot throughout this video. It's just one of those things. I'm a mum now, so that's just what happens. So, to make things easy, I already have boiling water on the go, and we're going to get our tatties and our mince and stuff on. Essentially, we're going to peel potatoes and we're going to cube them into all the same size. They have to be small enough that they will part cook in the water and then finish cooking in the pie. And then we're going to get our mince and stuff on the go. So we'll cut our potatoes first and get them done. So we need a chopping board. Now, if you're a weirdo like me, you cut all of your vegetables into a bowl, and you keep all the skins, and then you use it as stock. So that's what I'm doing. Essentially, it's just free vegetable stock. Because I use a lot of vegetables all week long, especially because the baby eats a lot of vegetables. So rather than use a tatty peeler, I find it faster with a knife, and then I will cut into this bowl. And I'll do the same with the potatoes, the carrots and the onion, and then maybe by, well, today is Monday, so by Wednesday the bowl will be full of like other cuttings off of like celery and stuff like that. And then I'll use all of them in a pot with boiling water. I'll reduce it right down, add some herbs and stuff, and then I've got vegetable stock. It's just to reduce waste, really. I don't like a lot of waste. And I use a knife because I get more potato on the actual skin of my stock. Just makes it thicker and stuff, means that I can put it in an ice cube tray, freeze it, and then pop out a wee cube behind it. So I don't need to teach you how to cut potato skins off. You know how to do that. So I will stop the camera just now and I'll see you in 2 minutes. Okay, so I went ahead and I've diced my carrot as well. But this is the amount of potato that you're going to need because it's going to go in a pie. Well, so this is the size of pie dish that I have. I'd love to tell you what size it is. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll write it down below what size it is, right? Essentially this is going to be filled with minced potatoes, carrots, onions, all that kind of stuff. So that's about 3-4 potatoes. That's going to go in there with the mince. So yeah, it's not a lot, but it's enough to feed like 3 people. And I went ahead and cut my carrots. So all I'm going to do just now is put these potatoes in the boiling water, and they're not going to be par-cooked, par-boiled. They're not going to be cooked all the way in the water, okay? So they're going to come out in like 10 minutes, 5 minutes probably. I'm going to poke them with a sharp object and see how al dente they are before I take them out. And I'll tell you how long that took. So next I'm going to cut my onion because we're going to do the mince. So you're basically just dicing your onion. Also, I have salted my water for my potatoes. Because potatoes absorb salt. So I did that. You don't have to do that, but I did that. So yeah. Also, if you ever make something too salty, like throw a potato in it, and it'll absorb some of the salt. So yeah, basically I'm dicing these onions, which I will do now. I'm not really that fussed. I'm just kind of doing it roughly, but it's your preference. Dice them however small or big you wish. You okay, Sadie? She's chilling. she's playing with a Minnie Mouse thing. I'm going to take the camera over to my cooker. So in advance, don't judge me, because I've also had to batch cook. That's the word I'm looking for. I had to batch cook all the baby's food today, so cooker's a bit of a riot. I cook everything that Sadie eats, because one time I was on Facebook and I seen people were using pouches and then they opened the pouches and there's mould in it. So ever since I've seen stuff like that, I've never really trusted it. Also, jars of baby food, I'll say things like 20% broccoli, 20% peas, 10% carrots, 20% cauliflower, right? And whatever else, right? Like fucking salt or whatever, right? Or no salt, but barley or whatever. Basically 100% tells you exactly what it is. It says no preservatives, no additives, blah blah. But then that wee jar of food's got like a year on it and it's not frozen, and I'm like, how do those vegetables last so long? I don't trust it. So yes, I cook everything Sadie eats. Anyway, back at the ranch, what we're going to do is we are going to throw the carrots and onions into a pot, stir them about a bit, put mince in. You'll see all that in a minute, I'll move the camera. 2 seconds. Okay, so big pot, there's your full onion and all your carrots going in. That's as zoomed in as I can make it, I'm afraid, so that'll be pretty good. Stir that a booty. So I am using Aberdeen Angus beef trying, and it's also less than 5% fat apparently. Right, so try and use as little fat in this as possible. I know I just put oil in that, right, but yeah, just try and use as little of like a fatty beef. You're using a beef mince. I am using 1,000 grams of this. I don't think I'm going to use all of it, but I got 2 500s, so that was my fault. I'll wash my hands now. Right, so start stabbing the mince down, because you want to break that up into like tiny wee bits. Oh, make sure you throw carrots and onions everywhere as you're doing it. And as this is doing its thing, stick your oven on at 200 degrees, 220 if you've got a fan. I think that's maybe gas mark 7. But stick your oven on. I agree, Sadie, I agree. Then you want to boil your kettle because you want to make yourself some stock. We're multitasking. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, this looks super appetising, I know, but it will get better, trust the process. Let's try a patata. Right, we're done. So that was like 5 minutes. So we're going to drain these bitches. We'll sit there. Done. Also, this is on a medium heat just to get it browned. So give it a wee mixy booty, find the big lumps and give them a smoosh. As you can tell, there's no finesse in my dinner making. It's just what it is. Right, let's have a swatch at this stock. I'm literally just using a stock pot. Like, I'm not going to make beef stock, and it's gluten free, so you'll be. Right, okay, so what does it say? 500 millilitres of boiling water. Also, Sadie is far away from everything I'm doing just now, not far away, but she's like still in the kitchen, but she's like nowhere near me to be harmed or anything, so don't worry. Yeah. Right. Cool, there's raw mince lying over my counter, that's nice. That's what you want. stick your stocky business in there. Bloop. I'm happy that there's like no big clumps and stuff, so all I'm waiting for this to do now is for the mince to brown. So leave that to brown. Leave that away. Yeah, this is far too much mince. I'd probably say either 500 grams or 75 grams. Probably say 500 grams or 750 grams is enough. But yeah, jam some pepper in there. And some salt. You broke it again, Sadie? That's some talent, woman. How are you managing that? So we're turning the heat up on that because we want to try and get rid of all the wee bits of juicy bits at the bottom there. We don't want the juicy bits, we want it to be fairly dry. Exactly, Sadie. Dry, read it dry. Right, so I'll see you in like 2 minutes. There's no point in you just watching a pot. So all you're doing is keeping this in a medium-high heat until all the juicy bits, see the juice at the bottom there, I don't know if you can, until that's kind of evaporated, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now we're going to make this have a gravy of some sort, right? So grab your plain flour. I would say a tablespoon worth for like every 500 grams of mince. So I've got like 1,000 grams in there, so I say a tablespoon. I mean, you can see that I'm easily putting in loads. But if you came for the exact measurements, I'm sorry. So basically give that a shimmy booty, right? Until you don't see any more flour. Smashing. And then what you want to do is pour your stock in. I like to add a full one of those wee pots and an oxo cube, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. An oxo cube, I guess for Americans is called a bouillon? That one Sadie, that's right, the cube. Break that in, feed it a stuff. Reduce the heat and let it simmer. And you're basically letting this reduce now. Yeah, so let's let it simmer, do its thing, let it reduce. And then we'll come back to it and I'll show you what you do next while that's reducing. First thing you do is pick your Wayne up because she's unhappy with you. Now that the baby is placated, she's chill, she's eating the sock, I'm going to show you what we do next. So we're going to... Will we grease the tin? Yeah, we'll grease the tin. We're using pre-rolled puff pastry. Why? Because we have kids now and there's no time, there's just no time. Right, so that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to scoosh this so it doesn't fully stick, and we're going to pre-bake, like blind bake our pastry, because it's a sticky bitch. So I've got 2 rolls of this, which I think is 375 grams. Again, it'll be in the description below. We're putting like a liquid essentially into this pie, like a gravy and stuff, so you do want to par bake it, blind bake it, because it's going to have a soggy bottom if you don't. Can't find my bacon beans anywhere, so we're going to do it with rice. So take your paper, scrunch it up so it's malleable, jam it in so that it doesn't rise, we have to weight it down. So cover it a bit, add the rice, jam some rice in there, and then put it in your preheated oven for like 10-15 minutes. Right, so I was just over there stirring my mince. Essentially that's us done most of the hard stuff. So my mince is just reducing just now, it's getting thicker, which is what you want. And once 10 minutes is over, we're going to take, I don't know why I put the camera this way, I'm kind of like leaning to try and get it. We're going to take the blind baked pastry out, we're going to take our potatoes and our mince, we're going to mix it together like some sort of happy marriage, throw it in there, jam a top on it, stick it back in the oven. So you'll need an egg yolk, or an egg, you can use a full egg yolk, whatever you want. I'm going to use an egg yolk. So I'll see you in like 10 minutes. See you then. So before you start doing this, then you give your baby a snack. Right, so we've got a sort of blind baked pastry case here. Right, so I can't touch it, right, but it's here. I can't lift it up, it's hot. Hold on. There. Bob, come at the rescue. Right, so here's my case, right? And all we're going to do now is I am going to chuck my potatoes into the pot I was using to boil them, because why not? I'm going to take some of my mince, which is now super thick. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like super thick and like tasty. Everything's reduced down, and I'm going to throw it in with potatoes, and then I'm just going to mix it around a wee bit until we essentially get just that, and then we're going to throw it in the case and then top it up with mince if we need to. But yeah, it's very like unrefined, but it's tasty. I mean, could you just make mince and tatties? Absolutely, but I like a mince and tatty pie, because who doesn't like pie? I'm just going to top it up with a wee bit of mince. Smash in, right, so we're going to use a tap of this bit of pastry now to create a lid. And I'm not going to keep any of the pastry, so I'm literally just going to flop that on and try and match it with the stuff that's there. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. I mean, could I have been better with this? Absolutely, but I was not. I wasn't any better than this. You can absolutely take your time and crimp it and stuff, but my baby needs to be fed now, and I don't have a lot of time. If you've got a weirdo husband, you can keep the leftover dough for him to throw at things. Marcus loves to punch and throw dough. It's very strange, but he does love it. So yeah, you can crimp the sides, you could like pattern them, you could do anything you want. I am essentially tucking the pastry together, and then I'm going to use a fork and jab it round, and I'm going to make wee holes, wee steam holes. Whoop. There's my fork. Right, so I'm just literally gonna like run that round. I would usually be so like exact, especially if I was baking, but this is just like a dinner that really doesn't need, well, I mean, everything needs some sort of level of finesse, but you okay? You want another snack? Snack. Yeah. Right, take your egg yolk and just brush up. Get a nice wee brushy booty, because although it doesn't look nice, it can still be golden. Right, so this now goes in your oven, same temperature, and it goes in for like 25 minutes. Basically, it's only going in until the pastry cooks. Essentially, that is what's happening here. All you're doing is cooking the pastry, because the rest of it's cooked. So jam it in, and I'll be back in 2 seconds, and I'll tell you what the manufacturer's instructions for this pastry is. So that means I can also tell you how much pastry it is. Right, so I'm using Bell's Puff pastry, and I used 2 lots of 325 grams. So yes, go for like a 1,000 gram pack if you can get it. What does it say? It says nothing. There you go. Remove from the refrigerator for 20 minutes before use. Blah 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 blah. Oh, there you go. 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, it says cook in the centre of your preheated oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 for a non-fan, gas mark 7, for 10 to 12 minutes, or at the temperature required in your recipe until the pastry is golden. So we're going to give it 15 minutes and we'll check on it. In the meantime, I'm going to tidy and feed my hungry jet. So I'll see you later. I'll see you in like, ideally, realistically, I'm going to see you in a second. For you it'll be a second, but for me it'll be like an hour. I'll see you then. Here is the pie. This is what it looks like out of the oven. It just looks like a pie. You can see that not having finesse really didn't make much of a difference because it just looks like a pie. I take this as an opportunity to say please like and subscribe, thanks. Do you want half of that or do you want that bit?
Is there anything else or is it just a pie? I'll have that much.
It's just a pie, but everything's in the pie.
Oh, right.
You're not doing a very good job. Do you want to try and do it?
Aye.
You can move it closer if you want. There's good pie at the bottom, so you can't stab through it.
No. I'll try, but there's no really much I can do.
Hey!
That actually looks really nice.
Shouldn't surprise.
Nah, you know what I mean.
That actually doesn't look half bad.
Fuck up.
I've lost my bacon beads. Like my...
Beads?
I don't know, my wine bacon beans.
The
week away things. Lost them somewhere. Yeah, so I fucked it.
it's fine.
That's a lot of pie.
It's getting mashed up with this one.
True. So yeah, I've got like a middle bit, but that's, I mean, I've got a huge piece. That's what it looks like. It's alright.
Good.
Just Mince and Tatty is a pie.
Alright, that's nice.
You okay, Sadie?
She discovers a new noise and then that's all she does for a few days until she discovers a new one.
She's also covered crisps now. She's got a bath after night. So, is there anything that you would like me to add or change to this recipe?
No, I think it's fine. I like it. I like mince and pastry. Okay.
Alright. Right, well, I'm not going to eat my full dinner here. So, I'm choking my dinner. I'm going to say bye. And, thanks for watching. See you later.
Bye.